Welcome back to FM Storey. It's the running at the end of season 10 of our save where we're trying to end the dominance of Rangers and Celtic in Scottish football. And things are going outstandingly well. Despite the upheaval of losing most of our best players in the summer, we are top of the table. At the start of the episode, we're 18 points clear with 21 points left to play for. Hopefully we'll have the league title wrapped up before the league even splits in half. We've already won the League Cup. We're in the semi-final of the Scottish Cup against St Mirren, and we're in the Champions League quarter-finals where we've been drawn against Marseille. Could we win 3 trophies again this season? Could we possibly even add the Champions League? Let's find out. Without further ado, let's get into the action. We are at the last fixture before the league splits in two. And as you can see, we're 18 points clear at the top of the table with 18 points left to play for. As long as we don't lose this game against Hearts, we will be crowned champions at home before we've even managed to get to the split. We've played a couple of games since the end of the last episode. The first one was a really comfortable victory away at St Mirren, a 6-0 victory. Stefan Rackle got a couple and then also missed a penalty, which would have sealed his hat-trick. And then we had the first leg of the round of 16 against Marseille, and we had some issues at right-back. Dumitru was suspended. Calvin Ramsey's now picked up an injury. We had to play Leon King at right-back. He picked up an injury in the first half as well. So luckily for the games going forwards, Dumitru was only suspended for that game. But it means we go into the away leg in Marseille in a similar situation to how we went into the away leg against Arsenal. We've drawn the first leg. We need to get a result away from home to make it through to the next round. But obviously, hopefully, before we get to that game, we'll have wrapped up the league title. All of our normal starting 11 are fit and available. We've made one departure from what would be the normal starting 11 in that we've given Dusin a start and we're giving Nuevo a rest on the bench. Obviously, we just need to pick up a point to win the title against Hearts, who are managed by Danny Welbeck. What we do need to do is keep Pinchuk quiet. He won the next gen. He's on loan from Arsenal and could be a pretty big threat in this game. We're going with that 4-3-3. They're going with the 4-4-2. Hopefully the extra body in midfield can secure us a victory here. Right, early corner. Laterna swings it in. Rackler gets his head on it. It's his 15th goal of the season. And that's us 1-0 up. And hopefully the party can start as far as the title's concerned. Swings it in. Gets a run at the near post. Powers the header past Ono in goal. And we're 1-0 up already. Right, they've worked the ball forward. Rackler gets his head on it. But they've picked up the loose ball in midfield. Ball over the top that Hidero gets his head to. Dumitru down the line to Deli Basic. Gives a poor pass infield, and now they're breaking again. Down the right-hand side. Gets the cross in. Zebra comes, gets nowhere near it. Strath scores, and that's 1-1, and that is just woeful from start to finish. Deli Basic, poor pass in midfield, gave the ball away. Santos can't stop the cross coming in. Just can't get close enough. When the cross does come in, Zebra comes flying out, gets nowhere near it. Dumitru's left in Strath's wake and he heads home. This is not looking good. They're in behind us again. And Pinchuk scores. Yeah. Just a ball over the top. Gets in behind the fullback. And then we've got 2 players there, but none of them react. Pinchuk's the only one that reacts. And we're now losing. Right, Rackler with a free kick. Out to Santos. Back to Rackler. Infield, and we've given it away in a stupid position again. Rackler thankfully wins it back. Delibasic into Medina in the centre of midfield. Over the top for Casanova. I think he's probably offside there. No, he's not. He must have timed that pretty well because he looked like he was well ahead of the defender. So Rackler into Delibasic, into Medina, had space to move into, lifts it over the defence. Casanova takes a touch and then fires past the keeper to level it up at 2-2. It's a defender on the side that I couldn't see. It was keeping him on side. Right, Turner with a corner. Rackler again. Powers the header home, puts us back in front. And I'm not quite sure that we deserve to be in front given the way the game's gone, but we'll take it. Drives the corner to the near post. Rackler gets up above everyone else. Beats the keeper. And that's 3-2. And there we are, it's half time. The last sort of 20 minutes of that second half, of that first half, a lot quieter than the first 25 minutes of it. We're 3-2 up. Hopefully we've now had our lesson about relaxing after the opening goal. And hopefully now we can just kick on, make sure we finish with at least a point, win the title, and then we can focus on Champions League and Scottish Cup. Right, Dumitru with a throw back to Hideroa. Dumitru to Delibasic into Casanova. He loses out. Dumitru gets back to win it. Back to Zebra. He goes long to no one. Absolutely no one there. That was Turner wins it back. Basuare back to Laterna, but we've certainly not played our best football of the season in this game. We've given the ball away an awful lot. Rackler wins the header. Then we've given it away. Hidero has shoved him in the back and he's getting sent off here. And that is exactly what we didn't want. Right, Dusink with a free kick to the back post. San Martin goes down. I think we've got a penalty. It was a pretty weak one if it is a penalty. It's being given. Rackle stepping up. I'm going to have to take that hat-trick thing off because that's 2 games in a row. 2 league games in a row. He's been on 2 goals and missed a penalty. That should have been Casanova to put us 4-2 up and out of sight. That was stupid. Right, Zebra with a free kick well outside of his goal. They've won the header, but Rackler to Salamanca. Medina goes long looking for Casanova. The defender cuts it out. Right, Dusink wins it back. Santos over the top looking for Casanova. It goes straight through to their keeper. And he goes long. Rackler wins the header though. Medina loses out in midfield. And now they're in. And luckily San Martin got around on the cover. But they've still got it. Ball comes into the box. We've now got 5 defenders on. How on earth did he get a free header at the back post? The cross comes in and literally a free header. And there we are, game over, champions for the 2nd successive season. Second trophy we've won so far this season. Trophy seems to have disappeared there, though. I'm not sure where it's gone. But we've won the title. We've won it at a canter. We've already won the League Cup this season. We've got a semi-final of the Scottish Cup to come. We've got the second leg of a quarter-final in the Champions League to come. There could still be so much more to come from this season. We've made it to our final game of the season, and rather amazingly, it is in Baku. It is against Real Madrid, and it is the Champions League final. Since the game against Hearts, where we won the title, we've turned up in some big games. I mean, we started with a 3-0 victory away at Marseille, making that the third tie in a row where we've gone away from home, won the away leg and qualified for the next round. We then had the semi-final of the Scottish Cup against St Mirren and came away with a pretty comfortable 2-0 victory. We then picked a pretty much fully rotated team, or mostly rotated team, and came away with a 1-1 draw against Rangers in the first of the post-split games. We picked that rotated team to give us a chance of having as close to a fully fit team as possible for the Champions League game against Man United, the semi-final. We went to Old Trafford and had a 2-0 lead after just over half an hour. We threw it away a bit in the second half and ended up with a 2-2 draw. We then again picked a rotated team for the next league game and somehow came away with a 3-2 victory against Hearts, despite Salamanca getting sent off. And then the home leg against Man United, we got off to the perfect start with a goal after 3 minutes. They equalised with a penalty. We went ahead with an own goal, and then Casanova put us 3-1 up with 20 minutes left to play. They got another penalty and pulled it back to 3-2, and we were hanging on a touch at the end, but we did enough to manage to make it through to the final. We then again played a pretty much rotated team against Hibs in the league and lost 2-1. We beat Livingston 4-2. And then we drew 1-1 with Celtic on the last day of the league season. And then the Scottish Cup final, we came away with a 3-0 victory. Complete the domestic treble for the second season in a row. That's the fourth time we've won the Scottish Cup in the last 6 seasons. And now we've got Real Madrid in the Champions League final with the FIFA Club World Cup to come in June. But this is going to be a particularly tough game. I mean, when you look at the team, they've still got Vinicius Jr., they've still got Rodrigo, they've still got Tchouaméni, they've got Fofana, they've got Bellingham, Jurrien Timber, Dusan Vlahovic, Arda Güler, Endrick, one of our former players, and Jimmy Edstrom. In fact, 2 of our former players, Jimmy Edstrom and Samson Elise. Like on paper, you would say we're going to get hammered, and we probably will get hammered. But then you would have said that when we played Arsenal and Man United in the knockout stage of the Champions League as well. So it's going to be a tough game, but we're in with a chance. It's a one-off game. Anything can happen. We ended the league season with 93 points. We obviously took a foot off the gas a bit after the post-split. We played a lot of rotated teams. We ended up finishing 16 points clear of Celtic, 22 points clear of Rangers. And rather bizarrely, there's 4 teams, and I think they all go. Let's just check. There's 4 teams from Scotland are going to be in the league phase of the Champions League next season. 2 going into the Europa League, which meant that Dundee United, who finished 7th, didn't make it into the top half split, are going to be in European football next season. Truly bizarre. But now we just need to try and end season 10 on a high with this Champions League final. So this is the side we've picked to go into the Champions League final. It's pretty much our strongest team possible. Santos picked up a bit of a knock in the Scottish Cup final, but he's fit enough to start. Obviously, there's 2 of our former players in their starting lineup in Elise and Edstrom. They're going in with 3 at the back. We're going in with the 4-3-3. And hopefully we can keep Vinicius, Hendrick and Jude Bellingham quiet enough to be able to nick a result here. Right, throwing in there half for them. Bellingham into Tchouaméni, but he's given the ball away to Casanova. He's in the box, goes all the way back. But Cochise, only in the team because Deli Basic is injured, fires us in front. And that, you have to say, is very much against the odds. Tchouaméni gives it away. Casanova thought he was going to cut in on his right foot and shoot, but pulls it back to Bassawari, who plays it onto Cochise, hits it first time, catches the keeper maybe by surprise, but puts us 1-0 up. They're enjoying an awful lot of possession so far. I mean, over 60%. We'll turn it back to Medina, who overruns it, and Tchouaméni's nicked it off him. Vinicius Jr. to Bellingham. It's crossed in. Thank God they missed that. Right, Casanova with a free kick, goes for goal. And it just ripples the top of the net as it goes over. Right, Edstrom with a free kick for them into Vinicius Jr. Driving forward at the defence. Wide to Yerai. Bellingham into the box. Pulls it across. Simple tap in for Hendrick. And they've just carved us open there. Just far too easy down this right hand side for them. Bellingham just gets to the byline, pulls it across, and a simple tap in for Hendrick. Half time, 1-1, and that's gone a lot better than I feared it was going to go. We need to be better with the ball because we're not getting much of it. And slight concern about the yellow card that we've already picked up. Hideroa has shown a tendency all season to pick up stupid second yellows and get sent off, which we can really not afford to do in this game. All right, we've sent the same team out to start the second half. All right, we've made the first substitution. We've brought off Nuevo on a yellow card. Didn't play well in the first half. We've brought Thomas Dusink on, who is always good for a goal. And let's see whether he can produce something big here. Cochise down the outside. Back in on his left foot in the box. Pulls it back to Medina. Dumitru into the box. Laterna, and it's saved. Right, Dumitru with the throw. Cochise, Medina into Rackler. Laterna first time. Medina wins it back. Cochise into the box. And the keeper makes a save. But we've still got it. Medina loses out. Right, free kick for them in a dangerous position. Hendrick to take it. Whips it, lifts it in on his left foot. We've got a head on it, but Vinicius Jr.'s got it. And we've managed to get a block on that shot. And it squirms behind for a corner. Hendrick to take it. And we've got another head on it. It's going to come back though from Vinicius Jr. Hendrick in the box. But he was offside. Right, we've made some more substitutions to get some fresh legs on the pitch and replace some tiring players. There's less than 20 minutes left. And we're 1-1 into the last 10 minutes. And they've got a throw deep in our half. Ball comes in. Salamanca with a header. It's helped away. Yerai into Vinicius Jr. Ocon. No, Hendrick's in and scores. And we are in a bit of bother here. We've just not got anywhere near any of the passes. Lovely ball into Hendrick. And he just smashes it into the top corner. And now we've got 10 minutes to grab an equaliser. It was very tight to be an offside. Right, Dumitru with a throw. Miller back to Dumitru. Miller with space. Lifts it over the top to Cochise. Across to Casanova. Simple tap in. And we've levelled it up at 2-2 almost immediately. Dumitru into Hidero. Miller just lifts it over. Kachis takes it on his chest. First time, then just hits it in low. Keeper comes to try and block the cross. Doesn't get there. Casanova has a simple tap in. And that's 2-2. Right, into the last couple of minutes of normal time here. It's going to be 5 minutes of injury time. If no one gets a goal in that time, we're heading to 30 minutes of extra time to decide the Champions League winner. Into the last minute of injury time. And there we are. Extra time to decide the winner. Both teams look as if they're out on the feet. They also probably have an awful lot more options on the bench to change things. Right, we've sent the same team out to start extra time. We've got 2 subs still left to be able to make. And Casanova probably needs to come off at some point, but with him being our biggest goal threat, I'm very, very wary of doing that. Right, corner, Cochise swings it in. It's headed up in the air. Basuari gets his head to it, back to Cochise. And they've scrambled it clear. Salamanca. Down the outside. Into Luis Roberto in the box. What a turn. Pulls it back. What a save from the keeper that is. Right, Cochise swings the corner in. It's up in the air again. This time they've cleared it. Right, we've made our final 2 substitutions. We brought Castro on up top instead of Casanova. We brought Deli Basic on the right instead of Cochise. Both of them were knackered. Right, Dumitru with a throw. Basuari. Dumitru down to Deli Basic. Miller goes back to Hideroa. Rakla bringing it forward. Luis Roberto gets past his man. Oh! Popped up for Dusink. And the keeper's made a superb point-blank save. Luis Roberto swings the corner in. And they've headed it clear. Dusink with the ball. Into Dumitru. Now less than 5 minutes of extra time left. Not much happening in the second half of extra time. Now the team obviously wanting to throw it away completely. There's going to be 1 minute of injury time left at the end of extra time. Dumitru with a free kick into Hideroa. Goes back to Zebra. He passes it into Miller in midfield, who loses out, but oh God, they're going to come flooding forward here. This has got to be the last attack of the game as well. Oh, Hendrick scores. And we've managed to throw away the Champions League final in the last seconds of extra time. Just caught on the ball. They flooded forward. And just, it was too easy in the end for them. Hendrick, that completed his hat-trick. And there we are, full time. We've lost the Champions League final in possibly the most heartbreaking way other than it going to penalties. I think when you consider the difference in quality between the two squads, to have taken them to the very last gasp of extra time is an achievement, but when, if ever, will we get back to a Champions League final? And there we have it, a slightly bittersweet ending to the season. We've won the domestic treble for the second season in a row. We made it all the way to the final of the Champions League. We were level with Real Madrid until the 121st minute of extra time of the game, and then we've thrown it away. But overall, a really, really strong season given the mass departures in the summer. Hopefully we don't see that level of departure again this season, this summer. But during the summer, we've got the Club World Cup coming up. So join us next time to see how we get on in that competition. And hopefully we can go about strengthening the squad without losing too many key players this season. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.